This photo is from when Sophie modeled for Drake's OVO campaign at the time. She is a model and actress, and she was cool with OVO in the camp. And I don't know what him posting her mean.
UMG has responded, saying that the idea of them trying to hurt any of their artists is not true and also very disrespectful. They also said that whatever they did to promote Not Like Us, they have been doing the same for his whole music career. Drake has been having problems with Universal Music Group and its CEO, Lucian Grainge, for a long time, but now things have become even more serious. Instead of going after Lucian directly, Drake is now talking about Lucian's daughter-in-law, Sofia Richie Grainge. Once again, he is bringing women into his fight instead of facing the men directly. But this time, it is even worse, especially because of all the things people are saying about Drake and young women. And do not forget, Lucian Grainge is not just any music executive. He is one of the most powerful people in the music industry. If Drake thinks he can keep doing things like this without facing any consequences, he is making a big mistake. Over the course of 20 years, Lucian worked his way up in the company. By 2005, he became the chairman of Universal's UK division. In 2011, he became the chairman and CEO of Universal Music Group. Since taking over, he has grown the value of the company by more than 4 times. Right now, the company is worth about $55 billion. Universal also owns the rights to some of the biggest artists. In fact, 70% of the songs on the Billboard charts belong to Universal Music Group. So, what is Drake trying to do by posting pictures of Lucian's daughter-in-law? Does he have a clear plan, or is he just losing control after Kendrick exposed him in a way he never expected? Let us break this down. Lucian is known as the most powerful person in the entertainment world. He was named the Executive of the Decade in 2020. While the whole hip-hop community is celebrating Kendrick's recent success, Drake may have made a big mistake. Drake is at it again, throwing sneaky shots on social media and acting really strange. Instead of responding to the person who called him a certified PDF file in a song, Drake is going after women. It seems like that is his go-to move when he feels pressured. If you missed it, Drake has been very active on social media, throwing hidden shade ever since Kendrick embarrassed him in front of everyone at the Super Bowl. First, it seemed like he responded to Serena Williams showing up at Kendrick's halftime show by posting a picture with Serena's former agent, Jill Smaller. But it gets worse. Drake did not stop there. He kept throwing more shade. Drake also posted a picture of Sofia Richie Grainge, who just so happens to be the daughter-in-law of Lucian Grainge, the CEO of Universal Music Group. To make things even stranger, he unfollowed everyone on his account and is now only following Sofia. But Drake did not stop there. He took it even further by sharing an old picture of Sofia, where she looks very young. With all the rumors about Drake's past relationships with younger women, you would think he might be more aware of how this looks. Instead, he keeps giving people more reasons to side-eye him. It is crazy that he does not see how creepy this is making him appear. After these recent posts, social media has been calling him out, criticizing him for using women to take shots at the men he really seems to have problems with. If you have been paying attention to Drake's public struggles, you know this is nothing new. He has a long history of targeting the girlfriends, wives, and even daughters of his rivals. When Drake had a problem with Meek Mill, he went after Nicki Minaj. With Pusha T, he brought up his fiancée, Virginia. When DJ Mustard called him out, Drake took shots at Mustard's ex-wife. And with Kendrick, Drake kept throwing indirect jabs at Whitney and even brought Kendrick and Whitney's kids into it. On top of all that, Drake has a long history of throwing shade at women who turned him down. We have seen him do this with Rihanna, Megan Thee Stallion, Georgia Smith, and many others. Remember when he dissed Rihanna after her loss, calling her average? But let us not forget, this was after he spent years saying she was the love of his life. It is like those guys who cannot handle rejection, so they start calling women ugly the moment they are turned down. The fact that Drake is still acting this way as he gets closer to 40 is really disturbing. But the worst example was when Modiv called Drake a pop artist, and Drake got so upset that he went and followed Modiv's daughter, who had just turned 18. That is not just petty, It is creepy. This is honestly really disturbing. Now that Drake is in a full fight with Universal Music Group, he is going after Lucian Grainge's daughter-in-law, Sofia. Let us not forget, she is 12 years younger than Drake, married, and just had a baby only 8 months ago. Drake did not even have the courage to post about Sofia's husband, Lucian Grainge, Lucian's actual son, who also works in the music industry. Instead, he decided to go after a woman who has nothing to do with this fight and is not even involved in the music business. Some of Drake's fans tried to defend him by saying Sofia used to model for OVO, but what does that have to do with anything? That does not make this situation any less strange or desperate. It is like Drake keeps making weak, cowardly moves, and every time, it just backfires on him. First, he was too scared to sue Kendrick for calling him a PDF file, so instead, he went after Universal Music Group for allowing Kendrick to release the track, completely ignoring the fact that Universal also released his own diss tracks where he accused Kendrick of. Drake has even made comments about Whitney and questioned the paternity of one of their kids. Now, instead of going after Lucian Grainge or his son Elliot, he is targeting Lucian's daughter-in-law. Just when you think Drake cannot get any more embarrassing, he somehow finds a way to outdo himself. With all the rumors surrounding him and younger women, you would think he would be extra careful about bringing any women or children into his mess. But he just cannot stop himself. Now, fans are already warning Drake that going after Lucian Grainge's family is playing with fire. One fan even said, "If he thought he had issues, now Lucian will make sure he suffers, now he won't be coming back," and another person added, "Don't Drake know that she is also Lionel Richie's daughter? That man knows your family, Drake. Ask your daddy and Uncle Graham you about to F around and find out on the family front big time." When it comes to Drake's issues with Universal Music Group and Lucian Grainge, fans are still trying to understand what he is hoping to achieve with his defamation lawsuit. In case you missed it, last month, Drake filed a federal lawsuit against Universal Music Group, accusing them of defamation because of how they promoted Kendrick's diss track, Not Like Us. Drake pretty much repeated the same claims he made in 2 legal petitions he filed back in November. He is saying that Universal Music Group used shady tactics to unfairly boost Kendrick's diss track on Spotify, like using fake play-to-play games, bots, and other methods to inflate the track's numbers. Drake's lawsuit gets even more unbelievable. On top of accusing Universal Music Group of using shady tactics, he also claimed that Kendrick's song, Not Like Us, is anti-Semitic. Yes, you read that correctly. He really went there. The lawsuit says that the lyrics, especially the line "Drake is not like us," are a reference to Drake's Jewish heritage and that it calls him an effing colonizer instead of a colleague. Fans couldn't help but laugh at the irony of Drake suddenly accusing someone of anti-Semitism. Back when Drake was Lucian Grainge's golden boy, getting special treatment that no other artist at Universal was receiving, people used to say Drake got that privilege because both he and Lucian are Jewish. But now, because Drake is upset about losing a rap battle, he is turning around and accusing Lucian of promoting an anti-Semitic song. How does that even make sense? Even Drake's lawyers must be laughing at this one. As for Universal Music Group, they are not taking this lawsuit seriously at all. Their lawyers responded, reminding Drake that he would not be where he is today without their support. Universal's statement said, "Throughout his career, Drake has intentionally and successfully used them to distribute his music and poetry to engage in conventionally outrageous back and forth rap battles to express his feelings about other artists. He now seeks to weaponize the legal process to silence an artist's creative expression and to seek damages from for distributing the artist's music." In simple terms, Universal Music Group is saying that everything Drake claims they did to help Kendrick is actually the same thing they did to make Drake a huge star. The only reason Drake became one of the biggest rappers at one point is because Universal pushed his music hard on every streaming platform and radio station. We all remember those random Spotify playlists where Drake's picture was on the cover, even though the music in the playlist had nothing to do with his style. Some of Drake's fans think he is trying to get out of his contract with Universal. But if that is the case, does Drake really think that suing them for defamation and going after Lucian Grainge's daughter-in-law is the right way to handle it? He is making some very strange choices, and at this point, it feels like he is digging himself into a deeper hole. His fans keep trying to convince everyone that he is playing a smart game with Lucian and going against the system. But let's be honest, if Drake thinks he can outsmart these people, he is in for a big surprise. These executives have been running things for much longer than Drake has been rapping, and they do not like to be challenged. Some artists get too full of themselves, and now that Drake is going after Lucian's family, he might learn the hard way that messing with powerful people rarely ends well. What do you think about Drake going after Sofia Richie and all these other women who have nothing to do with his problems? And what do you think he is trying to achieve with this defamation lawsuit against Universal? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you do not miss the next video.